You guys, I can't predict everything with absolute certainty, but I guarantee this will be the last act of this show. Let's talk about the futures. That's right, time is precious and bitcoins don't grow on trees. The most recent jobs report showed workforce growth stalled in December to a measly 74,000 new jobs, while more than 3 times that many people couldn't get to work. Could it be that the secret, hidden mechanics of our economy are at the mercy of the weather?
It was that polar vortex, kind of kept people home.
That just happened.
Weather can maybe account for something like 50,000. Construction was relatively weak.
Yes, the polar vortex gave us a great visual to describe a stalling economy. And no question, the frigid weather shocked industries like construction and transportation. And sure, there were long-term effects too. At least 50 able-bodied Americans not only stayed home, but burned the holy hell out of their bodies, throwing boiling water into the frigid air to make snow. If only the Bureau of Labor Statistics incorporated these selfless content creators into the job numbers. But the real takeaway here is the workforce participation rate is the lowest it's been since 1978. It's hard to be optimistic about economic growth when Americans aren't optimistic about their job prospects. And that doesn't make Janet Yellen's Fed chairmanship any easier. It's like this. In December, the Fed took a baby step forward with quantitative easing. Yellen can't be like the bird lady at the end of Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. She can't boost the economy by hugging it tight. But she also can't go aggressive on the bond buying like in this scene where Bird Lady sends her birds to attack the crooks. Most likely Yellen will stay the course with tapering. It's kinda like my feminist arm tat says. You guys do not want to see my tramp stamp of Larry Summers. At least not until jobs report shows more unequivocal data. And on to the most contentious section of Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act, the Volcker Rule.
What the Volcker Rule is supposed to be about?
It has to do with CDOs and CLOs and trust-preferred securities.
Banks with large trading operations, changing that culture to one of customer service as opposed to speculating for their own account.
Okay, some good points there, at least I assume they are. I admit I only recently learned how to manage a personal checkbook. Let me just grab my handy copy of the 848-page and 1,000 pages in regulatory policy Dodd-Frank. Victoria, where is my copy of Dodd-Frank?
I'm sorry, Alicia, it's so many pages.
Look, here's the thing about the Volcker Rule. By capping the stake in ownership a bank can have in hedge funds and private equity funds, feds could ensure banks don't endanger their customers. And hey, wouldn't that be nice? Only banks don't want that to happen. In fact, a whole bunch of banks are lobbying hard to limit the Volcker Rule by nitpicking the legal definition of own. Yeah, because, what does it even mean to own something? What are possessions? Finally, the big banks are thinking like the tent folk of Occupy Wall Street. But nope, banks don't want to overturn the system, they want to game it. Manage money as they please for institution-optimal profits. I'm no financial analyst, but it seems clear-cut to me. If a bank is leveraging funds they don't own in a way that doesn't explicitly benefit their clients' money, bad. I'm not kidding. The banks are big and getting bigger. Don't believe me? Good. When it comes to your money, why should you? But here's regulatory crusader Senator Elizabeth Warren with a stern warning of things to come.
The big banks are getting bigger, and they're taking on more and more risk.
If Warren's big bad bang prophecy proves correct, we can expect the Dodd-Frank Act to outgrow the Oxford English Dictionary by the end of the year. How's it going out there, Victoria?
Alicia, I've already changed the toner 7 times.
Well, it does not look promising for Victoria. Welcome back. We all want to make more money, but how? Well, my #1 tip is to tell your bosses how attractive they look. Ladies and gentlemen accidentally watching, let's talk about the futures. That's right, I only have 4 minutes left to charm your pants off, so let's get straight to the financial news. It's the time of the season, yes, earnings season. It's sort of like Groundhog Day, only for earnings to arrive, corporate accountants must emerge from their books so that companies can shower investors with their net profits for the next 6 weeks. Earnings can give us great insight into a company's value. But I'm here to ask, why not stick with your prejudgment? Let's have an earnings season bonanza. We have a lot of earnings to make blind speculations about, so let's get started before tomorrow's opening bell and pin the tail on this donkey. First up is Kimberly-Clark. No, not the freak who ruined 6th grade by pantsing me in front of the whole cafeteria. We're talking to the other, more grown-up Kim-Clark Corp., which announced plans to spin off its healthcare division to focus on its consumer brands like Kleenex and Huggies. This corporate restructuring makes sense, but Kim-Clark broke the news in spite of already high valuation, perhaps reacting to greater shuffling in the healthcare industry. Keep your eyes open on Friday, but don't get bummed if the Kleenex maker's earnings are lower than analyst estimates. Those generic tissues you're crying into make you part of the problem. Also reporting Friday is Xerox. The copying pioneer stock climbed over 50% in 2013. But will Xerox be able to duplicate its past success? After shifting focus from printing to business services, they could be on track to boost revenue. But their service division hinges on one legally embattled VP, Lynn Blodgett, who's currently undergoing investigation by the SEC, his second shakeup since right before he joined Xerox in 2010. Here's what I know. 1. Photocopying is the absolute worst task I have ever been assigned to do. And 2, Xerox's CEO, Ursula Burns, is a true vanguard, the first African-American woman to lead a Fortune 500 company. It'll be a real bummer for her VP to doom the company to wither in legal hell if JP Morgan ever gives up its spot. Now, on Tuesday, we'll hear earnings report from entertainment company, cable provider, and many-tentacled telecom giant Comcast. But earnings are only Comcast's second big reveal this month.
Philadelphia's skyline is about to get a big new addition. And I mean big. The company has announced, well, I guess it's Comcast has announced, 59 stories. 59-story office tower. You're going to have restaurants in there.
Oh, man. Well, I'm sure Comcast Tower will be home to lots of exciting economic activity. But I think we can all agree that the media giant doesn't feel quite whole. That's right, Comcast. You may have me on hold, but I will get through to your customer account executives. Finally, also reporting Tuesday is Yahoo. They made a big push to kick up sales at CES earlier this month. Like most events at CES, it was a piñata of eye candy, from real newswomen like Katie Couric to the colorful comics of Saturday Night Live. There was no way CEO Marissa Mayer was overcompensating for anything. I mean, I guess Facebook did overtake them for the #2 spot in digital ad sales in the U.S. last year, and their COO, Enrique de Castro, did weirdly jump ship from the company with a huge severance package last week. Okay, so Yahoo fell a little behind in 2013. Big whoop. Who says they can't still generate a great earnings report this Tuesday? I don't know, but I will Google it.